What's up everyone? I'm Trey Berry. Let's walk and talk. So, as of the time of recording this video, it's been a few days since it was announced that the lead singer of Linkin Park, Chester Bennington, hanged himself committing suicide. I've always handled death and loss differently than most people, and I don't know where I get it from. Even from a child, even in my childhood, I never really got that messed up over losing, loved ones or acquaintances when they passed away. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons that could be. After all my years of therapy, we never really got into that subject, and it's one of the few things I would have liked to have delved into. Whenever a well-known celebrity passes away, it usually makes me sad, but it doesn't usually have a profound effect on me. This one, on the other hand, did have a profound effect on me. It's been a week or so, less than a week I think, since he hanged himself, and I can't get their music out of my head now. Now, I was around when they were in their prime, when they were really popular. I remember when the whole idea of mixing metal and hip-hop came into play, and it was like the greatest thing ever according to society back then. And I was by no means a big fan. I was a casual fan at best. And I was especially lukewarm to their first album, Hybrid Theory. I thought it was overrated. Good, but still overrated. When their second album, Meteora, came out though, I was in love with that one. It just spoke to me on such a much larger level than their first one. It was tighter, more concise, and just better overall in my opinion. I mean, by modern standards, the music is 100% emo. It's very angry, it's very finger pointy, it's all of the above. Which that carries a stronger stigma nowadays than it did back at the turn of the century. From what I saw, all of their music was like that, including, their first and second album. Now for a debut album such as Hybrid Theory, that's kind of par for the course. It's more interesting once an artist has tasted mainstream success and they still have painful things to share with you. That's kind of what I took away from Meteora. In addition to it musically being brilliant, there was a lot of very sincere pain in the lyrics. And that's what I'm currently taking away from all of this music now that I'm in the grieving process, now that the world has lost a very talented singer and, apparently what was a very tortured human soul. Because you have to wonder whenever you're hearing something that speaks to you on such a deep level, such as music, you have to wonder whether it's manufactured or whether it's sincere. To go back and listen to all of these songs with that into perspective, with the perspective that the pain was definitely heartfelt and was definitely real, even after the singer had achieved such high levels of fame, goes to show you that, money can't solve all your problems. If your problem is on a deep level, you can have $1 billion in the bank and that won't do anything for you. These things seem to go into cycles almost. And they say they happen in threes, celebrity deaths. It's happened too many times for that to be a coincidence, but I'm not sure that the number 3 is really the deciding factor here. These painful memories that we carry around tend to manifest themselves in gigantic ways when they happen. It was Chris Cornell, and now it's Chester Bennington, and the pain just gets to be too much. Right now we're going through one of those cleansing periods where there's just so much hurt and pain going around, and we're all feeling it, and a lot of people are just choosing to check out entirely, and it's sad. Suicide happens to be something that I feel pretty strongly about. I try not to talk about it because it's almost like a trope. People just, repeat a lot of the same talking points, and we've all heard them. But when you go through it on a personal level, when someone close to you chooses to end their own life, you begin to take a different view on the subject. And I don't want to be one of those people who gets in your face about, such a controversial subject. Listen, I get it, I've been treated for depression. I've been very happy at some points in my life, and I've been very low. Full disclosure, I've never been full on suicidal, but I have gotten to the point before where I was indifferent to the idea of living or dying. So I can relate to it somewhat. I heard those talking points when I was indifferent to life or death. And I know that, we don't want to hear them. Suicide is a personal thing. You have the right to your own life. You should be able to choose if you want to live or die, blah, blah, blah. I get it, and on paper, I agree. But just remember this, please. This is a very diverse world. Everyone's different. We all look at things differently. And just because you might have become indifferent to the idea of living doesn't mean that everyone around you has become indifferent to the idea of having you around. They say that, suicide is a very selfish thing. It's a temporary solution to a permanent problem, and it gives you a way out, but it leaves your loved ones behind, feeling at a loss and being hurt. And, all of those things are true. But like I said, the world is a diverse place. There's a variety of personalities out there. And if you've ever had a bad day, you know that these feelings are not permanent. They come and go. I'm not going to fault anyone who chooses to take their own life and check out early, because at the end of the day, I do agree that it's their choice to do so, but just be aware that when you make that choice, you are making the active choice to hurt those who love and care for you. There is always hope. If there's one thing that's constant in life, it's change. Things can always change for the better. And they will change for the better if you believe strongly enough and you take the inspired action to do so. 2 years ago, a very close friend of mine chose to end his life. So, I've been known to have a pretty twisted sense of humor, and I like to joke about taboo things. But one thing I've taken a very hard stance on the entire idea of suicide. He used to joke about it, and then apparently he did it. You always have to wonder, was there anything I could have done to stop it? But, that is also a selfish way to look at it, because it's completely ignoring the wishes of your loved one to not want to live anymore. It's a messy subject for sure, and this is why I really don't like to touch on it too much. But I've been feeling inspired to talk about it because it's what everyone is talking about right now. To me, I believe that the answer is that every time something like this happens, we just need to be aware of the problem. The world needs more love. The world needs less hate. The world needs less suffering. We need to rise up and make the world a better place than it is right now. I'll tell you what the answer is not. The answer will not be found in politics or politicians. This is something that we all need to take personal responsibility for ourselves. We need to love each other more. We need to stop using labels such as liberal or conservative when we're looking to reach out with each other. Because listen, I 100% believe that politics has nothing to do whatsoever with all the pain and suffering that's going on right now. But I also 100% believe that other people 100% believe that it does. I believe that they believe that things are connected, but they're not. We can have political beliefs without letting them tear us apart as a society. Suicide is preventable. This one could have been prevented, and the next suicide could have been preventable. If someone you know suffers from depression and has probably thought about killing themselves, it doesn't hurt to show them a little extra love. Show them a little less judgment. We are not going to heal this world by hating each other more. I mean, look at Linkin Park, the band itself. They took such raw and pure hurt and pain and turned it into something beautiful. They turned it into some of the greatest music that our generation ever heard. And what I would like to see is for his death to be an inspiration for everyone who was ever touched by his music to go out and love each other more, to reach out to those other highly sensitive people such as himself and let them know that their presence is appreciated. Let them know that them being around means something to you, even if it means little to them. Just like you're never going to completely convince a colorblind person that the sky is blue and that the grass is green, you may not be able to truly convince a depressed person that their life matters, but you might convince them that it matters to you, and that's a start. But if there's one thing that I feel strongly about, is that we all have 100% responsibility over our own experience in life. So that includes the decision whether to live or die. You know, you cannot hold yourself responsible if someone else decides to end their life. But I think in the meantime, we can make this planet a little better to live on if we just love each other a little more and hate each other a little less. That's all I got for you today. I just wanted to get that off my chest. So until next time, don't forget to like and subscribe. So peace out, and I'll see you when I see you.